Hi folks, comic book creator and Lost in Space superfan Jeff Nicholson here with another look at how the sets were broke down on Lost in Space. So picking up where we left off after Season 1, for Season 2 the upper deck set and the exterior campsite are still located on Stage 11. And Stage 6 is still the home of the drill site and other random alien encounters. And by the way, that set is only a half circle of cyclorama, so oftentimes, like here comes Judy, and then she's going to yell over to Will and the robot. It's the same half circle, just redressed with other props. The lower deck set was moved from Stage 5 over to Stage 6, so some other production must have let go of that square footage, so now it gets to reside next to the sandy dune lot there. But we're saying goodbye to the sandy dunes as we leave Prairie Planets and go on to other adventures and other sets. The next planet they touch down on, the Ghost World, uses some really creative use of set redressings. First we see the miniature touchdown. We'll see this shot recycled many times in the future. Then we see outside the windows the surface of the planet, and this is a optical burn-in, blue screen if you will, kind of effect. But then we actually see the crew looking down out the viewport onto the set, and this is not an effect. What's going on here? Are they up inside the full-size mock-up we saw in Season 1? No, that's just a dummy shell. It doesn't have the real sets inside. They actually elevated this one wedge of the upper deck set from Stage 11, brought it over here to Stage 6, which is our sandy dune set, by the way. That's all been stricken, sand swept away. They built the Gate 115 set. Wow. Then they used just a portion of the full-size mock-up for the landing leg. It's all very convincing and very creative. Then after they get all the shots they need, they just strike it all and redress it up as this interior Ghost World spooky set. And these additional sets, even further in the Ghost World catacombs, are actually Stage 11. It's the front campsite area of the main set, all blacked out, sand removed, and dressed up. It's all quite creative and sets the tone for Season 2, where we have a lot less walking around on the sandy desert planet and a lot more of these almost fantasy-like blacked out sets. Then they go and crash land on the planet where they will remain for the rest of Season 2. And there's this mysterious fog outside, which kind of eats up about half of the episode being inside the ship or talking about the fog. My personal theory is they had not yet had time to repaint the cyclorama from the sandy deserts to the purple mountains. I haven't read that anywhere. It's just my pet theory. Even when Smith goes out onto Stage 6, we've got the fog obscuring the background. And it really has nothing to do with the Mr. Tiabo plot, which they breeze through. It's not until the third act that the fog finally lifts and we get to see Stage 11 with the campsite all done up for Season 2. Then it's pretty much business as usual with the occasional planet walkabout scenes on Stage 6, the alien camps on Stage 6. But there are a few exceptions for the remainder of the season that I'll point out, such as this rock obscuring that left side of the ship that they never show. Some episodes there's no rock, some episodes there's different rocks. They just wing it. Prisoners of Space really illustrates the scale of the front camp of the yard with the prisoner fence going from the left of the ship back to this corner, and it pops away, and then as you can really see that sandbar up against the cyclorama on the far side of the front of the ship, and it pops away, and you see that other corner there. And then back on the far right side of the ship where Smith digs a tunnel, that thing is right up against the cyclorama. That was the first time I noticed it when I was a little kid. Sometimes on Stage 6, they would put up a big sand pile to create the illusion of some topography on this otherwise flat soundstage. It really shows off the dimensions of Stage 6. I like it. On West of Mars, they redressed Stage 6 by just swapping out the cyclamen-type plants with some cactus-type plants. And presto, you've got a Western planet. Yep. On the final showdown with Zeno and Smith at the end, this is about the farthest left you're going to see on the ship in Season 2. And then when they do this cutaway, it's kind of a cheat because there really is no cyclorama wrapping that far around to the left. So they either went around to another side of the ship or pulled out a big prop into the main yard. Clever stuff. And here's another example of redressing the front camp area on Stage 11 into a random area on the planet. And the classic run behind some rocks to exit the scene. I think there's only about 2 foot of space between the rocks in the back and the cyclorama wall until someone yells, "Cut!" For me, this set on the Dream Monster is the epitome of the Season 2 Blackout fantasy set. And they've gone past even trying to show a ship coming and going or a ship exterior. They just interact with the characters, then they just teleport back and forth into this place. They basically shoot all the sandy stuff in the first half of the week, turn the set into the Blackout, and do that the second half of the week. Those crews must have been working all night redressing sets. Here's something I never noticed until the Blu-rays came out. On the episode The Girl from the Green Dimension, in the background is the 4-foot wide Jupiter 2 miniature that's usually used for space special effects scenes. Here's another shot, looks even better. It's basically set on that sand berm back there against the cyclorama to create the illusion that the ship is a few hundred yards away and looks really small. That's really cool. There's even a night shot and the windows are lit up. I just love this. I guess they thought it wasn't effective or no one's going to see it on their televisions at home, and I guess they were right, because I never noticed this after decades of repeated views. This is the only episode where they did this. And look at this. This has got to be the most all-in view of Stage 6, shot from up in the rafters. Too bad it's such a clunker of an episode, Mutiny in Space. And now I have to revisit my favorite subject, that dead area to the left of the ship. Left if you're facing the ship, but it's to the right if you're inside the ship. They never come out and take a hard look to the right there because it's kind of a service driveway where they bring in equipment and they just don't want to look too far over that way. Sometimes you can see the obvious sand berm along here with just a couple plants to decorate it. Sometimes you'll see big purple rocks and plants to hide the berm. But on this episode, Smith stares right in that direction, and now we see an ivy-covered slab of granite. And it slides open, and it's Lemnock's Cave. Actually, all the Lemnock's Cave stuff was shot on Stage 6, but we can pretend that's been there the whole time, and that's why we never looked that way, because Lemnock's been hiding out in there for the whole Season 2. Okay, let's wrap this up. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the entire Season 2 was stage-bound. Season 1 has a fair amount of sunny Fox backlot shots, as well as outdoor locations, as does Season 3. But I don't believe there's one bit of film in Season 2 that is not on the sets. Even if we've got some kind of weird moat, it's an indoor set left over from Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Or this fake Chinatown. It's a Fox City lot used for other filming purposes. All right, this went on for longer than I thought. I'll have to save Season 3 for another episode. Until then, once again, huge thanks to Mark Cushman and his awesome book series, where about 99% of this info comes from. Please check them out on Amazon. And while you're there, check out my stuff. It's all digital, available on Comixology and Amazon Kindle. And every one of my titles has a free preview. You can just click on it and read the first 5 or so pages. See what you think of it. All right, thank you so much. Talk to you next time.